FutureGynoGee, your friendly non-traditional pre-med black hottie, and I'm back with another video for y'all. Today I want to talk about the 6 things that led to me choosing to go the non-traditional path to medicine. Before I get into it, I want to remind y'all to go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and bring a friend and subscribe too, and always hit that like button if you like what you see. Leave some comments. Let me know if some experiences you had are similar, or just say whatever you want to say down there.
Be disrespectful.
Okay, let's just get into it. So the first reason that I want to list is just the obvious, or maybe not the obvious, but low math and science GPA in undergrad. Yeah, I took biology, like biology 1 and biology 2, general biology 1 and general biology 2 my freshman year of college, and I just was not ready to like be in college. My freshman year, like many other people, I was like never on campus. I was rarely ever in class, and I had just come from Broadmoor High School, which is predominantly black school, in the deep south of Louisiana, and then I came to American University, a predominantly white school in a very like well-to-do area. So it's just such like a culture shock, and I just was not dealing with it the best way. And also I had ran into somebody that I went to boarding school with, which sounds really weird, but I went to boarding school with her in 9th grade, and she was like my only friend. She was a white woman, but she was hot as she and I were hot messes together, so we were never on campus. We was like, you know, just enjoying life. But you can't really enjoy life when you have general biology 1 and 2, and you have like, I don't know, I think I was also taking pre-calculus, so I just was not ready. Okay, I wasn't ready. And then after that, I got put on academic probation. I think I finished my first semester of college with a 2.6 GPA. After that, I got put on academic probation, and while living my life, I also was like having a lot of like reproductive health system issues, and I had already been having those issues my senior year of high school. That's kind of when they started. And then I was finally diagnosed my freshman year that summer with polycystic ovarian syndrome, or other people call it polycystic ovary syndrome, which basically, I feel like when people try to explain PCOS, you can't really explain it. It's really hard to explain, but it affects the hormones. It's like a hormonal ailment or a hormonal imbalance. And for me, it just makes me have like longer menstrual cycles. I have really high testosterone, really low estrogen, and I have to use, you know, birth control in order to regulate my hormones. But I didn't know that, so I was having like 45-day cycles with like heavy bleeding, and it was like I was like bedridden for a good 2 or 3 weeks, and it just really did not help. I was like living life, and now I'm bedridden. Yeah, it was just a lot going on. And then after that, it was just kind of hard to get back together for other reasons that I'm going to mention in reason number 2. So I'm gonna just do that. So reason number 2, racist professors, bro. So first semester, I was in the first ever public health cohort at American University, and I had a professor who was like, I guess our cohort professor, and then he also was the epidemiology professor as well. The intro to epidemiology, I should say, professor. And he just really did not like me. Maybe because I wasn't in class, but I also feel like he didn't like me because when racist shit would happen, I would call him out on it. And yeah, we just did not get along. So it just was always friction. Like, who's gonna go to classes or to spaces where there's always some sort of weird happenings, like all that dissonance that nobody wants to deal with when they have health issues that they're dealing with, and they have like imposter syndrome that they're dealing with as well. Like, you're just going to end up not going after a while, and that's what ended up happening. Then there were other professors who were just like not pouring into me the way that I needed them to, and the way that I saw them pouring into other students who were not Black. And then there was also like a Black student who was there, but she was like, she wasn't like me, you know? She was very much so like, she talked, the way that she spoke was different from the way that I spoke. Like the way that she engaged with people was different. Like we just had very different like Black American experiences, and hers was more respectable, I guess. Hers was more like comfortable to you know, the white professors and the white student body and the other Black folks there. I don't know, like American University, at least when I was there, I don't know about now, like they were not, like there was a very specific way that you were allowed to be Black, like at most PWIs. If you existed outside of a specific type of Black experience, then you were gonna have a hard time, and I did, because most Black people, you stick out like a sore thumb. So you want to, like they want you to blend in and not make too much of a scene, and like you can go against the grain but not too much, as to not, you know, just that respectability politics shit. And I just have never been that type of person. I've always been very like radical, whatever. So yeah, racist professors, it was rough. Then reason number 3, a racist pre-medical advisor. American University is just you know, but I can specifically remember at this point I had only taken like 2, I had taken both general biology courses, I had taken calculus, which I didn't do badly in, I had taken maybe another course and I didn't do horribly in that either, and I was just meeting with the pre-advisor to see if I could like get her to sign off on some things, white woman, and basically she told me like I should switch majors or like go towards something else because medicine isn't for me. Like I'm not the type of person that will do well in the medical field. And I just was like crushed. I already was dealing with imposter syndrome. The Black people thought I was too Black. The white people thought I was Black and they was not with that. So it was just, I felt like crushed, and I felt like I had nobody to really support me. There were Black professors who supported me, but majority of the Black professors were not, you know, in any of the science and math, you know, subject areas. But there was one Black biology professor who was so supportive. She was one of my lab professors, and I got an A in that class. And I just really wish I had paid attention to that, because it wasn't that she was giving me an A because she just wanted to give the Black girl an A. I got an A in there because she cared about me as a student, and I ate that shit up, you know, as opposed to these other people who like were not wanting me to be there because I wanted them to teach accurately, to teach historically accurate and evidence-based information, rather than this stuff that completely erases anti-Blackness within mathematics, anti-Blackness within science and the medical field as a whole. She never tried to make it seem like that stuff didn't exist, and she just was just amazing. But she was my lab professor, she wasn't for the class. So I'm getting a C in this biology class, and I'm getting an A in lab. It's just, and I just didn't put 2 and 2 together because I was so indoctrinated in this anti-Black space that was trying to push me out of medicine before I even got into it. But yeah, so the racist pre-medical advisor told me I wouldn't make it in medicine. I can remember calling my mom and like just crying. Either I called my mom or I called my grandmother. I'm not sure. I probably called both. I normally would call my grandmother first though, and I was just boo-hooing. And I ended up getting out of the public health cohort and switching or adding another major. I added women's gender and sexuality studies, which just helped me to like boost my confidence again, because I was like, I'm actually smart, like I'm not stupid, like you can't, you know, whatever. Ooh, child, the power of racism, it will literally make you feel like an idiot. It'll make you feel like you're incapable of success. So yeah. Then 4, I guess that kind of just goes into it, societal influence and expectations of Black women in general. Like I had internalized those things that my pre-med advisor told me. I'd internalized the things that my professor told me, my academic advisor in general. It wasn't until like I think my junior year that I found an advisor who I just started working with her, because my other advisor was not supportive either. Yeah, and then also like my mom is a very successful like lawyer. My mom has achieved a lot of things, and I feel like my mom has also dealt with those messages of like, well, maybe you should like temper your goals or temper the things that you try to achieve as a Black woman. And I feel like as a result, my mom always supported me, but I feel like my mom would, any mom wants to, like, I'm trying to see how to say, like, any mom, any parent wants to protect their children. And I think my mom went to HBCU, right? So she had really supportive environments. Black people wanted to see other Black people be successful. And I think my mom, me being her first child, and also us, I guess, like us, like moving up the ladder together, because like my mom had me while she was in college. So as my mom was moving up the socioeconomic status ladder and progressively also, because progressively also moving into more and more and more white spaces, we're doing it together. And I think my mom didn't know how to handle the severe anti-Blackness. Like, she didn't know how to consult me or give me advice on how to handle the immense anti-Blackness within an educational space. So her biggest, I guess, like, she went into protection mode, and was like, well, maybe you should try this instead, or maybe you should do this. Like, one of her things that we talked about like later was like, she had advised me to do public health rather than like majoring in biology, which I'm really happy that she did, because it made me a more well-rounded physician. And she was like, well, why don't you work instead of like going straight to do this, or whatever. And she was like, well, maybe you should become a PA. People are saying like OB-GYNs, this, that, and the third. And it just was like screaming doubt, 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 doubt. And I know that's not what my mom was trying to communicate to me. My mom was really just trying to communicate, I want you to be successful, and I'm tired of you being injured literally every turn. Like, I'm tired of people trying to make my baby girl feel like she can't be successful. And so like, it was coming from a place of love, but it also was informed by literally society hating Black women. Like, it was informed by that. It was informed by like people wanting Black women to settle for less in their careers, in their love lives, in anything that they do. So yeah, so I was internalizing all those different messages, and like, a person can only push by themselves for so long. If even people in their corner who are like starting to be affected by anti-Blackness and misogynoir, then that shit is going to start to seep in, and you'll start to be like, well, maybe I can't. Maybe I should branch out and do all of these different things just in case medicine doesn't work. And while that has helped me now that I've gotten back on track, one could definitely say that if I had kept moving in all these different directions any longer, I probably would have missed my exit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I probably would have missed my exit. What's for you is for you, yes, but like, we can't keep spreading this messaging that like, if you delay, then you will still be on the same track. You will not. So yeah, I ended up taking a non-traditional route, because I just got tired of going against the grain and constantly being injured by being at the bottom of the totem pole all the time, and people and institutions supporting me being put at the bottom of the totem pole. The fifth reason, which is still in alignment with that, would be like self-doubt and internalization of that. So I just kept being like, well, okay, I'm gonna go to Peace Corps once just because like I don't have the science and math GPA, and I'm kind of nervous to go back and take any science and math courses because I don't want a professor to make me feel like I can't do it, because I'm at my low, I'm at my low at this point. So let me just go to Peace Corps. I go to Peace Corps, end up having like a really bad time there, end up like not only facing racism, but also facing like a new unique form of anti-Blackness at the hands of continental Africans. So that was very weird too. And then I came back and I was like, well, I don't have any skills and I'm still afraid to go back to school, so I'm just go back to Peace Corps. I just kept delaying, kept doubting myself. And I ended up just figuring everything out. I ended up doing everything except for go to medical school. Like, I became a policy analyst for domestic and international policies around sexual and reproductive health. Like y'all know, I want to be an obstetrician gynecologist, so I know all the different policies that inform the ways in which OB-GYNs move, both domestically and internationally. I became a journalist for a little bit. I, a medical consultant. I work with different OB-GYNs right now in different like hospitals on addressing implicit racial bias and improving patient-provider relationships. I literally have done almost everything except for become a provider at this point, because I was just so afraid of being rejected and so afraid of like getting back into the arena.
Because it literally is war. Like, I am at war against institutional racism and anti-Blackness and medical racism.
Like obstetric racism. I'm at war against all those things in my pursuit of medicine, and I just was doubting my ability to win the fight, to win the war. But I lost those battles, but I'm gonna win the war. So the last, the sixth and final reason that I want to talk about, it just wasn't my time. It just wasn't my time. I felt like I had to go through all those things that I went through. I had to learn about those different policies. I had to have those different international experiences and learn the ways in which patient care is, given within different contexts, to see like, this is something that I want to take and use when I become a provider, or this is something that I don't want any parts of when I become a provider. Or like, when I became a trainer and a consultant working with these different OB-GYNs and providers, clinical and non-clinical, I saw what the medical system looks like on the inside, and I'm just like, that just gave me even more fire to pursue medicine. I had to have all those different things happen so that when I'm back in the arena, I'm back on the battlefield, I have all these things in my arsenal to keep propelling me forward. I have all these different reasons added to my why. So I'm happy with my non-traditional track, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I mean, let's think about it. I'm now getting my master's of science in public health, and most providers now, the medical field is wanting providers who have a master's in public health or a master of science in public health, who have that research experience, who have that, public health practitioner, I guess, label underneath their belt, because it makes you a more well-rounded physician. A lot of evidence is showing that providers who go directly from undergrad to medical school are missing some key skills that you need, like to have better patient consultation time, or what am I trying to say? To have better patient-provider relationships. I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of that because that could be a whole different video. It probably will be a whole different video. But they're missing key things that you need to be a culturally responsive medical provider, to be a provider that understands, that a lot of their patients are bringing a lot of knowledge to the table, knowledge of their own bodies for starts. And they're realizing that a lot of medical curricula, curricula don't prepare physicians to provide care that is patient-centered, but rather provide paternalistic care. They're not really teaching them how to do like a shared decision-making model, which is what we need right now to improve a lot of the disparities that are present. So I definitely wouldn't change it for the world. I'm really pleased with the trajectory. I'm coming into, my medical career with so much experience already. and it's going to be invaluable when I get there. So that's why I'm on the non-traditional track, and I guess that's all I got for y'all. See you next time.